Devaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining, and we seek the kind blessings and mercy of Radha Krishna, Krishna Balaram, Gaunitai, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and of the assembled Vaishnavas, so that we can dive into the fourth canto, at least do an overview of the fourth chapter, 10th canto, 11th canto, even. Not quite with it today. So this is the second verse of this chapter, where Drumila starts answering the question of Maharaj Nimi.
Shri Drumila Vacha Yova Anantasya Gunananantan Anukramisyam Satubala Buddhi Rajamsi Bhumi Ganayat Kathanchit Kalena Nevakila Shakti Damanaha. Translation: Shri Drumila said, anyone trying to enumerate or describe fully the unlimited qualities of the unlimited Supreme Lord has the intelligence of a foolish child. Even a great genius could somehow or other, after a time-consuming endeavor, count all the particles of dust on the surface of the earth. Such a genius could never count the attractive qualities of the personality of Godhead, who is the reservoir of all potencies.
So this shows the unlimited nature of the Supreme Lord, and it's also said that he himself has Ananta Shesh, Ananta, who's got 1,000 mouths, who's been chanting the glories of the glories of the Lord since time immemorial. He can't get to the bottom of the glories of the Lord. So if the Lord himself can't do it, what chance have we got? Let's not even make an attempt. So Drumila explains the incarnations of Godhead to King Nimi. That's the title of the chapter. The various forms of past, present, future incarnations of the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Hari, and the various transcendental characteristics of each of the avatars constitute the subject matter of this chapter. So it's quite an elevated chapter, very elevated chapter. So King Nimi asks, Supreme Lord descends onto the material world by his internal potency and according to his own desire. Therefore, please tell us about the various pastimes Lord Hari has performed in the past, is performing now, and will perform in this world in the future, in his various incarnations. So the incarnations are actually innumerable. Just the manvantaras mount up to hundreds and thousands and millions over the period of Lord Brahma's life. So these incarnations are just innumerable, just like the qualities of the Lord are innumerable. So we just look at that verse again quickly. Even if it were possible to count all the particles of dust on the face of the earth, any attempt to count all innumerable transcendental qualities of the unlimited Lord Hari would be simply madness.
Prabhuji?
Yes.
Who is Drumila?
One of the 9 Yogendras.
Oh, he was one of the, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So one by one, they're all answering
Questions.
the different questions set by King Nimi.
Okay.
And quite amazing, King Nimi keeps them busy by asking them questions. So, and they all answer each one, amazing. Lord Narayan created the universe out of the 5 elements manufactured by his own Maya, entered into that universe in the form of the super soul, and became known as Purush Avatar. Purush Avatar. So Purush Avatar are the creative potencies, the Mahavishnu, the Karan Daksha Vishnu, Garbha Daksha Vishnu, and Shiru Daksha Vishnu. The Lord effects the work of creation in the mode of passion through Brahma. He does protection by maintenance in the mode of goodness through Vishnu, and he destroys through ignorance through the form of Shiva. Incarnating in the form of Narayan, the greatest of sages, from the womb of Murti, the daughter of Daksha and wife of Dharma, he taught the devotional service of the Lord by which material work ceases, and he himself perfectly practiced this knowledge. He is living even today. His lotus feet served by saintly persons. So Narayan, Narayan Rishi, still are present in the Himalayas. When Cupid, Kandarpa, that's his previous name, and his hosts were sent to Badrikaksharam ashram by King Indra, who became fearful and envious of seeing the austerities of Lord Narayan. So this is almost the foolishness. Indra becomes jealous of the Supreme Lord. That best of sages welcomed Cupid, who was as scared as the Lord had detected the deceit of Indra.
So,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I thought maybe my misunderstanding, the Narayan were Arjuna and Krishna.
Yeah, that's right. That is Arjuna and Krishna. It's two personalities, Narayan Rishi. There's two of them. That's correct. That is correct.
Here it says the greatest of the sages from the womb of Murti.
Yeah, I mean they came that way.
Okay, but they are originally Krishna and understood.
Yeah. Incarnation of. That's right. So they welcomed Cupid. The Lord knew this is Indra sending Cupid to disturb him. The pacified Cupid then offered prayers to Narayan Rishi. The demigods placed many obstacles. So these are the prayers. On the path of those who worship you to transcend the temporary abodes of the demigods and reach your supreme abode. So many obstacles are placed. Those who offer the demigods their assigned share in sacrificial performances encounter no such obstacles. But because you are a direct protector of your devotee, the devotee is able to step over the head of whatever obstacle the demigods place before him. This is like a little bit of a bribe. If you give the demigods a bribe, they'll let you through. So the original concept of corruption starts in the heavens, the demigods. If you give them their share, they'll let you through. Some men practice severe penances to cross beyond our influence, your influence, the Maya's influence. However, such persons foolishly drown in a cow's hoofprint when conquered by useless anger. Thus, they exhaust the benefit of their difficult austerities in vain. So, when one does austerities and one becomes like angry or lusty, then you lose the impact, the effect of all the austerities. While the demigods were glorifying the Lord, suddenly manifested before their eyes many women who were astonishingly gorgeous, bewildering the demigods. So with Cupid came some demigods, right? So this is the Lord bewildering them. The Lord requested the servants of the demigods to choose one of the women, and she would become the ornament of heavenly planets. And the demigods, they selected Urvashi. Urvashi is quite famous. So this is manifested by the Lord, Urvashi, and she was gifted to the heavens. By the order of the sage, Cupid returned from there with Urvashi, and upon presenting himself before Indra, related to him everything that had taken place. When Indra heard of Narayan Rishi, he became aware of his offense, and he was both frightened and astonished. So that's the first incarnation discussed. Now, it implies that Narayan are one person, but it may be the case that they're both Arjuna and Narayan, and sometimes manifest as one person, as Narayan Rishi. So the Lord, he does this amazing things. So nothing is a surprise. So the Lord has descended into this world by his various partial incarnations, such as Lord Hamsa, the swan, Dattatreya, the four Kumaras, and our own father, the mighty Rishabdev. So just a reminder that the 9 Yogendras are sons of Rishabdev. 81 other sons were Brahmins. So that's 90. Bharat Maharaj, he was the ruler of the whole world.
9 Kshatriyas.
And there were 9 Kshatriyas as well. 100 sons in total. The mighty Rishabdev, so they descended into the world to teach the science of self-realization for the benefit of the whole universe. So this is the primary purpose why God descends, to teach, to show his sweetness so that we can fall in love with him again. In his appearance as Hayagriv, he killed the demon Madhu and thus brought the Vedas back from the hellish planets, Patalok. In his appearance as a fish, the Lord protected Satyavrat Manu, the earth and her valuable herbs. He protected them from the waters of annihilation. As a boar, the Lord killed Hiranyaksha, the son of Diti, while delivering the earth from the universal water. As a tortoise, he lifted Mandara mountain on his back so that nectar could be churned from the ocean. The Lord saved the surrendered king of the elephants, Gajendra, who was suffering terrible distress from the grip of a crocodile. The Lord also delivered the tiny ascetic sages called the Valakilyas when they fell into the water in a cow's hoof print. And Indra was laughing. They were thumb size. The sages were thumb size. I think we sort of discussed that in one of the cantos, right? Briefly again. The Lord then saved Indra when Indra was covered by darkness due to a sinful reaction for killing Vrittasura. So we came, Vrittasura in his previous life. Anybody remember who he was? Oh, tough question, this one.
Chitraketu.
Whoa, not even you're on the ball.
Because I remember them. You told me that whoever, there are few things you to remember.
Yeah.
And I remember a few names of these divine devotees of the Lord. And Chitraketu, Vrittasur, Rishabdev, I start from the Lord and end with the Jadabharata and Mukuchanda. I remember them. That's why I remember.
Muchukunda. Oh, wow.
Muchukunda. Is it?
Hey, yeah, I've learned something from you today. Jad Bharat, I have to remember him. And Muchukunda, I never remember those two. Thank you for that. Very good, very good. Yes, good point, good point. When the wives of the demigods were trapped in the palace of the demons without any shelter, the Lord saved them. So this is, hang on, when is the wives of the demigods? Can't remember this one. Can't remember this past time. In his incarnations, in the Shinga, the Lord killed Hiranyakashipu, the king of demons, to free the saintly devotees from fear. In particular, Prahlad. The Lord also appeared as Vaman and took the earth away from Bali on the plea of begging 3 steps of land. Amazing pastime. Lord Parshuram appeared in the family of Bhrigu as a fire that burned to ashes the dynasty of Hayala. Hayhaya. Thus, Lord Parshuram rid the earth of all Kshatriyas 21 times. Now, if you just imagine, right, this is being taught by one of the 9 Yogendras to Maharaj Nimi. Maharaj Nimi was a very elevated personality. Of course, the 9 Yogendras were even more elevated. So this knowledge is being transferred from the Yogendras to Maharaj Nimi. Now, we are so fortunate. Prabhupada has given us access to this same knowledge. So just imagine our great, great fortune. We owe such a debt to Prabhupada for bringing this to us. And you know, the only way we can thank him is to keep studying it, keep learning from the Bhagavatam. So we are extremely fortunate. It's just incredible. The same Lord appeared as Ramachandra, the husband of Sita Devi, and thus he killed the 10-headed Ravan, along with all soldiers of Lanka. May that Sri Ram, whose glories destroy the contamination of the world, be always victorious. To diminish the burden of the earth, the unborn Lord will take birth in the Yadu dynasty and perform feats impossible even for the demigods. So this is prior to Krishna's appearance. The Maharaj Nimi this is historical, recounted by, was it Narad Muni? How Maharaj Nimi was taught devotional service by the Yogendras. Propounding speculative philosophy, the Lord as Buddha will bewilder the unworthy performers of Vedic sacrifices. And as Kalki, the Lord will kill all the low-class men posing as rulers at the end of the age of Kali. Almighty armed king, there are innumerable appearances and activities of the Supreme Lord of the universe, similar to those I have already mentioned. In fact, the glories of the Supreme Lord are unlimited. So this is where we stop the chapter. Really amazing chapter where, in brief summary, different incarnations are described by the devotees of the Lord. Any questions, any comments? So out of these, all of them have appeared in this Kali, in this cycle of the yugas, except Kalki. And Kalki is due to appear at the end of Kali Yuga. And that Kali Yuga is due to end in 400 or 1,000 years. So it's a long way yet. But also there is, our Guru Maharaj had, and his Guru Maharaj had the opinion that Kalki will appear soon. The reason being, Kali has already eaten its good karma. It's so become so bad in this age already. It's like being at the end of the age. So Kalki may well appear very soon. Who knows?
Just one question, please.
Yes.
Anyway, I have missed some of the program. I've got about 3 deaths in the community. So I've been really upset, so I haven't joined. Just when you say the Kalki avatar will come, but we don't know when.
He's predicted at the end of Kali.
But not sure when.
No, we are sure. It's about 427,000 years time. But
so it's still
long way away.
It's a long way. Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
You don't have to worry.
It's a long way. We don't have to worry. We worry about today and tomorrow what is going. That's it. That's fine. But people keep saying time will come, but we don't know when.
No, I mean, as I was saying, my Guru Maharaj, he was of the opinion, as was his Guru Maharaj, and this is actually scripture as well, that when Kali becomes really bad, Kali Yuga becomes so bad, then
it is at present it is really bad.
It's really bad, yeah. This is exactly the point. Yeah,
it's going to get worse.
It's going to get worse.
But we are all praying that we want the world be happy and just peaceful, but it's not going that way.
No, Kali will make sure it's not peaceful.
Yeah, you're right. We don't want it, but it is the way you are telling. I don't know. Anyway, we just carry on at the life just carries on. And
we don't worry too much about the peace outside. It's the peace inside that we have to cultivate. Even if there's madness outside, if we somehow can stay focused on the Supreme, then any madness outside doesn't matter. It won't impact us. No, it doesn't matter.
I mean, I've just told you that like 3 deaths in 1 week, And then today, one of my best friend passed away.
Oh,
It is so inside me. I'm just praying for all of them.
good.
But myself is not myself anymore.
Yeah. You lose a little bit of yourself when you lose somebody close. It's very true. But
But
this
anyway,
is,
I just pray for
Yeah.
them. Just they are no
that's
more in
good.
pain.
That's the only thing you can do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Well, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Sitaram. Yes, yes.
It is also mentioned in the scriptures that Kalki will appear when a girl of 5 years will deliver a child. This is a top.
Yeah, that's right.
And
That's
then
right.
you
That's right.
and just eradicate all those living entities and sinners. Bad devotees will be safe.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. We'll come across all of that in the 12th canto. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. I was listening to a lecture yesterday by Shiva Maharaj, and he was saying this period is, the golden period in Kali Yuga. So it's 10,000 years. But it basically it's like a sandhya between two yugas. So it's like between Kali Yuga and between Sat Yuga. So maybe at the end of this 10,000 years, maybe Kalki might appear, because it'll get so bad that he will have to bring Satyug in more quickly. So we never know.
All right, Mataji, very well.
And when somebody passes away, when we lose somebody close to us, it's a time when obviously we pray for them, but also we have to try to look inside and especially take shelter of the instructions given by Krishna to Arjuna in the 2nd chapter. So Prabhupada, 2nd chapter is very important to read. From text number 11 or 12 to text number 30. These are very important slokas where Krishna explains the eternity of the Atma, the soul, and the temporary nature of our bodies. So it's very important to understand. And it's a very good time to understand, because we're going through some challenge, and Krishna gives us the opportunity to meet that challenge.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Madhusundaru?
Okay, Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, sorry I joined late, but
That's okay. Yeah.
in time.
Yeah.
I read the chapter anyway.
Yeah, no, it's
So
good.
yeah, just Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So yeah, chapter 4 then, in King Nimi is a Vaishnav or a devotee who is trying to advance in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is very advanced, but yet he is asking questions of these Nav Yogendras, and then they're answering one by one in the last chapter, and they're specifying, the different creation, how Lord Vishnu and Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, it goes through the whole creation actually, just it is. And then also the position of all the living entities and all the different Dasa avatars here in this chapter, what they come for. But he's therefore eagerly inquiring about the various incarnations of the Supreme Lord, so that he can ascertain which particular form of the Supreme Lord is most suitable for his own personal worship. So because there's so many different personality avatars as well, you might start to favor one or like the pastimes of one particular one, but he's asking questions so that he can he can actually worship a particular personality. But then again, the incarnations are so many, as is mentioned, that even you can count the number of grains in the whole planet Earth, and by the time you count all of them, you wouldn't still work out the qualities of the Supreme Lord. So, and ultimately the one who's created all these, all the grains anyway, so. So we have to understand that one is not to concoct a form of the Lord by one's own whim. So we can't just concoct one particular form. It's said in Advaitam Achyutam Anadin Ananta Rupam. So there are so many different forms. All the forms of the Supreme Lord are anadim or eternal. Thus, there is no question of concocting a form, because such a concoction would be Adi, or the original form of the concocted form. So he starts to, if you try to concoct one, then it becomes a concocted form, which many others might follow. So it's not really good. But there are so many personalities that you can actually learn from pastimes of it. We have to understand that love cannot be imitated, but it is automatically aroused when one follows the prescribed rules and regulations given by the bona fide spiritual master, and submissively hears those descriptions of Srimad Bhagavatam. So by listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, we learn the different qualities, we learn about different personalities, different devotees, how they aspired to attain bhakti. Some did it one way. We listen to Prahlad Maharaj, with Dhruv Maharaj, so many different personalities. Even King Nimi here is asking questions. So, everything is done in such a way to give us that knowledge. And then our own bhav will develop, our own love will develop spontaneously. And it'll be aroused, as you said, automatically as we do more and more chanting and follow the regulative principles. Prabhupada has given us a nice formula: eat prasad, Ekadashi, follow the festivals, celebrate festivals, listen to kathas. So it's a nice formula, and it's meant to be like joyfully performed. We don't have to be so miserable. Kali Yuga will try and kill the spirit in us. You look at people around these days, it's like something, a bit of the oomph has been kicked out of people. That's how you feel, especially when things start to happen around us, which will happen anyway. That's the nature of the material world. People will die, the ones who are nearby. Even us, we are in the same queue. I've been to more funerals this year than ever. Even conducted a funeral as well. It's just a constant reminder that everything is so temporary here. But we don't have to worry too much with the next life, this life. We are on a process of bhakti. And, we develop that devotional service to Supreme Personality of Godhead. It doesn't matter whether we're in Kali Yuga or any other yuga, hopefully. Haribo, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Yes, very good. Nice points, Prabhu. Yes. Nani.
Yeah, thank you. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yes, Nani.
I did not understand this sentence that we do not have to concoct a form of the Lord by one's own whims. Who does that? This type of a thing?
Well, it's yes. Go on, Navi. Do you want to answer?
No. It's a good question.
It's a good question. No, well, there are so many who may, try to create their own concept of God, and that's kind of like a concoction or speculating. Like, for example, these present day, so-called terrorists, they go around saying Allahu Akbar, and then they blow other people up and all that. And that's like a concocted form of God. God is not like that. He doesn't say go and blow up a few people and for my sake. So there are concocted, whim wins like your own. We're so whimsical, we don't want to make the effort to study the Bhagavatam. They don't want to study the qualities as they're described properly. They don't want to approach a bona fide spiritual master They don't want to be submissive. People don't want to ask questions. So, then they start to imagine, or sometimes even atheists, the atheists say, I don't believe in God. Well, that's like a concocted idea, that, I don't think there is a God. It's like, a child goes around, a son goes around, saying, I don't have a father. I don't have a father. Well, he can never be a human being without having a father in any species of life. There's got to be some yoni that you'll have to come through in this material world. So you can't go around. So that's what I mean by, concocted. But by studying Srimad Bhagavatam, we start to understand the qualities of Krishna, Ram, all these different avatars. And that's what King Nimi is doing. He wants to know which particular form of the Lord and what sort of qualities should he start to meditate on that are properly explained, in these personalities, Navyogendras, are answering, one bit by bit, that these are the different qualities of the Supreme Lord, and that's what we should meditate upon. Okay, I hope that helps.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Babuji.
There is, of course, the devotee can, whatever desire the devotee has, the Lord fulfills. So if the devotee wants to worship the Lord in a particular way, he'll fulfill that desire. So that's there as well. But it doesn't give the devotee or anybody the right to concoct something that's not necessarily, connected with the Supreme Lord. I think that's where this is coming from. Very interesting. Very nice.
Yeah. Today, actually, I was listening to a lecture about Nitai Sevani Mataji. So she was giving a story about Nrsingadev, there was some devotee called Musak, or a person called Musak. So he thought, Nrsingadev only comes once, when Prahlad prays. So he won't come again. So, he was getting up so much mischief. So he was a mouse, actually. But then, I can't remember the exact things, but they did appear, but not in the form that we know. So basically, his form was, the bottom part was like a lion, and the face was a cat, and the rest was a human. And that is how he appeared to capture that Musak. So we can't have imagined that form, but the Lord can create all these forms as well.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that is the mercy of the Supreme Lord, that he can come in any form he wants to. He's transcendental. So if he wants to present himself in a certain way, then he will, And sometimes it's even difficult even when Krishna in his original form as Krishna was present on this earth, a lot of personalities like Duryodhana couldn't recognize him as the Supreme Lord. So it's up to Krishna to give the devotees the right vision to see him, the way he wants to be shown. So that's his mercy. Yeah, Haribol.
Thank you. Fantastic. Anything else, Naliven?
No, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavat Puran Ki Jai. So we'll continue tomorrow with chapter 5.